Hello learners, and welcome to chapter 2 for Bio 60 or physiology. And this is going to be focused on chemistry and biochemistry of the cell. So chemistry is going to be the study of matter, and biochemistry is going to be the study of matter when it comes to living organisms. So we kind of need both of these things to go hand in hand to help us understand physiology and physiological processes. So we're basically starting down here when it comes to chemical organization to help build our understanding. We go from atoms, then those atoms can form molecules and compounds. Those molecules and compounds can come together to form those chemicals that can then build organelles, build cells, and then of course build tissues from those cells. Now we're not going to be going into tissue specifically or for physiology, but you will be having that conversation when you're in anatomy. Okay, folks? For us, our goal is to understand how these chemicals, organelles, and cells are used to help us understand the physiological processes behind organs and those organ systems and how our overall human body works. To be honest, you can really think of it as, hey, a human body is just a water-filled bag that is made up of nothing but chemicals. So it's a bag of chemicals and water, okay? And all those little chemicals in that bag is simply just helping you understand the physiological processes like movement, muscles, digestion, electrical currents across the heart, all that from these chemicals. So it's very, very important. I mean, think of our thought, think of our emotions. These are also chemical messengers going across our body to help tell us things. And that's the cool thing we get to learn about as we go further in physiology. Now, some of you might be saying, girl, there is a lot going on in chapter 2. And I'm here to tell you, it is a lot going on in chapter 2. Mainly because our textbook is definitely human anatomy and physiology combined. So it's not separated as we would want. But just make sure you go to the after lecture section in all of the lecture modules. And you'll see that I give you specific sections to focus on. So for chapter 2, I want you to focus on 2.1. I want you to focus on 2.4, 2.8 to 2.11. All right, so I have, again, 2.1, 2.4, 2.8 to 2.11 written down. This is going to be in the after lecture section for the modules. There's a lot of information in the after lecture section. Like, not only do I break down the sections of what you need to be reading, I give you the active reading guides that come with your textbook so that you can focus on these particular sections. And I also give you one more important thing, which is going to be the Exam 1 study guide. The way I organize my lectures, the goal of my lectures is to help you with answering those study guide questions within the lecture so you're not doing 3 or 4 things at the same time. Okay, folks? So that is my overall goal. So what we're going to do first is we're going to talk about what is matter and chemicals and chemistry itself. We're going to talk a little bit about energy as well. Then we'll talk about the types of chemical bonds and how those bonds can help us understand water more. And then finally, we'll get into the true biochemistry of this portion, which is going to be macromolecules like carbohydrates and lipids, proteins, and DNA. And all this is going to help us understand the chemical processes in living organisms. That is really the study of biochemistry. Okay? Now here I'd like to just start off with just showing you how we have a lot of major elements of the human body. Yes, there are going to be trace elements that are not used, but these are going to be the main elements that you actually have that are necessary to sustain life, to be honest. Okay? So we have oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, phosphorus, sulfur, potassium. You're going to be seeing a lot of these. Okay? We even add, you'll be seeing a lot of sodium as well. You'll see that one up here. And these are going to be some of the elements that you kind of have to get used to over time because this is going to be what you're seeing a lot of as we go throughout this entire semester. Remember, I recommend you have your Exam 1 study guide. The way you can do notes is you can take your own lecture notes here. You can use the active reading guides I provide for you as your notes, or you can just use the worksheets as your notes, whatever you want to choose to make as your notes. As long as you're grasping the material, it doesn't matter to me. Most folks get full points for the notes because they try. Okay, folks? So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with matter and chemical. Then we're going to do a type of chemical bond. Then we're going to go into biochemistry and talk about macromolecules.